Hey guys, welcome to the Silver Report. Here we are. It's Friday, March 10th, 2017. And I wanted to talk about something because we have a tremendous opportunity right now. And I know there's a lot of naysayers, but perhaps maybe they just misunderstand what we have coming up. You know, they keep saying, beware of the Ides of March. And we have a lot of trouble on the horizon. We have a debt ceiling impact, a Federal Reserve interest rate hike possible that the economy cannot sustain. They've already voiced concerns over it destroying the American economy. And we also have the election of a Dutch anti-EU leader, all scheduled for that one day. And that's a good start on some of the troubles that have been stacking up. Now, we have had some concerns about these, and we see what's going on in Greece. We see what's going on all around the world. And more than that, there's talks of some sort of civil war taking place on trade going on within the Trump White House. One thing maybe you haven't had your finger on, but we have Mitch McConnell. He's coming out and he's saying that he doesn't see any tax regulations being changed until 2018. So this market is pricing in this expectations. But notice what has been the best performers. It's been banks. Banks have been the highest driver of this stock market rally. And why not? So many of Goldman Sachs individuals have been put into the leading roles. So much of the actions that have been taken have been focused around relieving some restrictions from banks, making it easier for banks to lend, is what they're saying. And what we're seeing, the Federal Reserve, they're so concerned recently about this inflation that is coming on as a result of these banks lending more and taking more out of the excess reserves. So inflation is setting in that they can't tamper down. They're unable to. So that's the only reason for an interest rate hike when they've already discussed the possibility of it collapsing the entire American economy. So what we've seen the price of gold and the price of silver slide. And in essence, it's a tremendous opportunity to be able to acquisition physical silver at a lower price before we see the remnants of this internal war between the deep state and Donald Trump. As if he's not a part of it. It's just some sort of other factions. Like there's factions going on in the middle of this war for the United States. So there's been this battle on the Hill between Navarro. He went right to the Wall Street Journal. He had discussed with them publicly, went direct to the public, because it's not something that could be worked out behind closed doors, but he called for the case of keeping trade open. And we know that Wall Street loves this. We know that Wall Street wants to keep trade open. Why? I mean, just look at the companies that are on the Dow Jones. Look at the companies that are leading. Look at Apple. All these companies are dependent on Chinese manufacturing. They don't care about American workers. They don't care about your paychecks. They don't care about your minimum wage. They don't care about you. They care about money. And what makes money is having these goods produced cheaper and stopping any kind of border tariff, any kind of correction on trade, any kind of discussion about trade deficits. They're hard at work trying to make sure that everyone just stays quiet, stays asleep. They don't want anyone waking up, anything changing. Drain the swamp. It seems like you need quite a large pump to get rid of some of this scum that is accumulated on the bottom. And so what we're facing is so many inflammatory situations that are coming up, let alone the president's Twitter account. The possibilities of a massive market correction are long overdue as a result of this extremely overvalued stock market. And most of this money, which is put into Visa, which is put into Apple, most of the stock market winners, they can't have what the candidate that you elected as president wants to accomplish take place. And so there will be turmoil on the way there. Just as Mitch McConnell comes out and says, we're not going to see any tax changes. We're not going to see any tax changes. When they come in to discuss health care, Repeal and replace. What was wrong with the previous system? What is wrong with the free market determining the price of medical care? All this Obamacare, all it's done is increased the cost of having any medical procedures done. It's limited the coverage. It's stealing from the American people by forcing them to buy a product that is not sufficient. And whenever people don't have a choice in the product that they purchase, the quality always goes down because they have a corner on the market. And that's exactly what has taken place. And so up on the docket, up on the decision board, they have repeal and replace. They have this healthcare law. They want to go through and it involves both finance. They're not going to be able to focus anything on tax regulations. Not going to focus on anything that matters for the American consumer, for the American economy. And so much enthusiasm is placed in this change in the regime ruling America. And yet these trolls are still under the bridge. They creep out. They want to come out because they can't have anything change. They can't have too much light. They're depending on the people staying in the dark. That must be exactly why they develop all of these tactics. Now, Clapper, Director James Clapper, the director of the NSA, in charge of the largest surveillance apparatus ever known in human history. He went on the NBC's Sunday Meet the Press show with Chuck Todd. And he discussed with him Chuck Todd's statement, does intelligence exist that can definitively answer the following question? Whether there were improper contacts between the Trump campaign and Russian officials. James Clapper, we did not include any evidence in our report. And I say our, that's NSA, FBI, and CIA, with my office, the Director of National Intelligence, that had any reflection of collusion between members of the Trump campaign and the Russians. There was no evidence of that included in our report. And this nonsense, dead-brained response, I understand that, but does it exist? Does it exist? We just have WikiLeaks coming out showing the CIA had the most advanced surveillance system ever known to man, and they lost control of it. The NSA also, and the FBI. That's so crazy when they say that they need to subpoena Hillary Clinton's computer. But what about ours? Like they don't know. His response, not to my knowledge, just because it doesn't exist. It's because it's all a lie. The people that are really controlling this country, manipulating information to stall any change taking place in this country, which we so desperately need, which so many people, so excited, so enthusiastic, have their money in this market planning on this. And yet they are yet to realize that many of these aspirations will fall very short because there are forces at work in this country that are much more powerful than your vote. All right, thank you guys for joining me here on the Silver Report. If you like the content, be sure to subscribe, like the videos, share the videos, get the word out. I thank you guys all so much for stopping by, and as always, stay safe.